we have to prove that the derivative of sine x equals cosine x. Or we say that the f prime of x as f of x equals sine x is equals to cosine x. And we know that by trigonometric identity that the sum of x plus h with the sine is equals to sine x cos h plus sine h cos x. And by the definition of the derivative, that the derivative of f of x or f prime of x is the limit of f of x plus h minus f of x over h as h approaches to 0. So since meron tayong sine x, so since ang f of x plus h, therefore papalitan natin yung x ng x plus h, you'll get sine of x plus h minus f of x, which is sine x all over h as h goes to 0. Then by having this identity, we've got this is equivalent to sine x cos h plus cos x sin h minus sine x all over h. And by factoring of sine x, this one and this one, what remains are, we've got sine x and cos h minus 1 plus, ito ang may iwan, cosine x sin h all over h. And we know that by direct substitution, we've got h is 0, that is cosine 0 minus 1. Or we have the transcendental identity that cosine h minus 1 over h is equal to 0. And 0 times sine x is equal to 0. Therefore, that is 0. And we know that this one has a denominator of h. And we've got cosine x sine h over h. And we know that the limit of the cosine x times sine h over h. And we can have the limit of sine h over h by transcendental identity, or we are establishing the transcendental limit that as the limit of sine h over h as h goes to 0 from the left and from the right is equivalent to 1 times the cosine x is equals to cosine x. Therefore, the derivative of sine x is equals to cosine x. Thank you.